And I think we're live now. Let me put our links in here. So I got a message from Jay. He's not going to be able to make it tonight. And I think this is going to be a small group, which is just fine. All right. For those who need it, the links are in the chat. We'll get started in just a minute. As I said, we have a small group. We only have 12 photos in our slideshow tonight. So we'll take our time with them. They are some very interesting photos, so I think we'll have plenty to discuss. But before that, does anyone have any announcements, any news, anything they'd like to share?
Is it time to pay annual fees or donations or anything? I can't keep up with things.
That'll come around in January 2026.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're good, and we're not going to kick anybody out. We're not going to block anybody's access, anything like that. We're just glad to have you.
Thank you.
I did want to mention this new 3D release from Kino Lorber, Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. And the 3D is quite interesting. It's unfortunate that this isn't really, like, technically it's a restoration, but it's based on a faded Ektachrome release print. So the night scenes are pretty much unwatchable. However, I do know that the original negatives do exist in Spain, so maybe someday we'll get a re-release of this title. So that's my review of Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. Let's go ahead and get this slideshow set up here. Let me share my screen. Let's see if I can get this right. There we go. All right. So if you're following along on Zoom, you should see the full width side-by-side title slide. And we've got Twitch and YouTube running as well. Let me just get that running here. Now, since we have a small group tonight, I did not randomize the photos. So we'll have blocks of 4 photos from a single maker. And we'll start off with a set from Oleg. Oleg, are you with us?
I'm here.
Hello,
Can you hear
Oleg.
me? Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you loud and clear. And we're going to start off with green and blue at entrance to the Lagoon Park. Let me articulate that. And let me back up, Oleg, before you speak, and just remind the group and for posterity that tonight's special subject is color. So Oleg, tell us about green and blue at entrance to the Lagoon Park.
Yeah, I was attracted to this scene because there were no reds or yellows, just green and blues. So I green at the bottom and the top, and blue along the middle.
I like that sandwich effect with the green borders.
So did you do any color manipulation in this photo, Oleg, or is this the
Yeah,
colors you saw?
not the color, but just the booth on the left was in the shadow, it was dark. So I made it the same intensity as the ones on the right. But otherwise, that's what it looked like. That was taken with the telephoto lens. I was far away across a roadway, and the lady never knew I was taking her picture.
It looks like her lower hand is a different shade in each image. Did you alter
Possibly her push hand. It looks the same on my TV.
Yeah, on the right side, her hand is deeper in shadow. On the left eye, it looks like it's been brightened.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Hmm. I'm trying to parse. I'm trying to work with the shadows on in the foreground. There seems to be. I'm not sure what's happening there.
There's one little piece of shadow that's visible in the left eye and not in the right eye. It's very close to the curb. I think the rest of the shadow is fine, but that one little bit
Yeah.
Okay,
makes it look kind of funny.
I cheated on this. The reason the shadows aren't quite right is that actually the road in the front was going downhill. And I thought it'd be nice if it was parallel to the window. So I moved
Gotcha.
that up. When I moved it up, it screwed up the shadows a little bit.
Well, that's a good idea compositionally.
The only other suggestion I'd make is to bring the lightness down a bit. It's the lighting is a bit harsh, but I think just bringing down the lightness, or especially like taking down the yeah, in shadow highlights, take down the highlights.
Yeah, it all depends on what you're looking at it with. On my TV, I try to make it look good on my TV, and it doesn't feel too bright here.
Yeah, and it's probably perfectly realistic. So I would only call that a problem with the subject, not with your reproduction. It's pretty minor. It's a good reproduction, and I do like the framing a lot.
I like the light catching the wires between the booths.
Yeah, they're nicely distinct.
Oleg, this one works very well as an anaglyph if you're interested, that lack of reds.
I didn't look at it that way, but yeah, without red, you've got an easy shot.
I think our anaglyph stream gets like 2 views, and one of those is me. So not too many people are viewing it as an anaglyph, but in case you were curious. Well, thanks, Oleg. Let's move on to another one of Oleg's. And the title is Mother Photographs Family at the Chromatic Gate.
Yeah, this is in, forget the name of the city, Southern California. Yeah, forget the name of it. It's near Los Angeles.
Santa Barbara?
Pardon?
Santa Barbara?
No, south of it. No, my memory no good.
San Diego? Oceanside?
It says
Oh.
Santa Barbara.
South of Santa Barbara, between Santa Barbara, it's on the ocean, and LA. My brother lives there. The county is named after him.
Ojai?
No,
Valencia?
nope. An important city.
Is
Sure
this
it's not
installation
Santa
called
Barbara.
the Chromatic Gate? We could look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up on Google now, and Google says it's in Santa Barbara.
No. Oh, it might be in the boundary.
I do see it looks like it's on the waterfront.
Yeah. Okay, it's Santa Barbara. I agree.
Now, did you create the fog?
The what?
The fog?
The
It's a very nice
no,
effect. I
no,
was
that's
wondering if,
real. I like that.
wow, that's a big change in fog in that short a distance. That's interesting.
It's on the right on the ocean, so it's anyway. I was hoping to get the pictures with lady, the mother, I guess the mother, and the rest of the family as she's taking the picture. But I think her picture was probably better than mine. For some reason, the man in the picture looked away. But it's hard to, this was one of those tripod shots. It's hard to keep track of more than one or two items at a time. And I was keeping track of that lady in white in the background. She was just coming out, and I wanted her to be more in the middle, at least not next to the lady in black taking the picture. And I guess she got the shot, and I didn't get it.
Oleg, have you accentuated the depth? Because it certainly looks like it to me.
No, this is it's let's see if I can remember if it's a telephoto. No, it was a normal.
Normal distance between the two lenses.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, 6 inches.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's all of my pictures are 6 inches. And that's good for the super wide angle, but this one, which is normal, gets too much depth.
Well, it's very comfortable to view. I wouldn't say it's too hyper stereo.
No, I mean it has a weird phenomenon. It makes the woman, the mother, look like a giant because, if it was natural depth, she would be closer to us.
Well, a wider separation is going to make her look smaller, like a doll, which is kind of how
But
I'm perceiving this.
you're perceiving her as smaller.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, all of them, the entire thing
Yeah,
would appear
that
smaller with a
don't make
wider.
sense. But she looks big to me.
Well, she's
I mean,
big.
obviously she's bigger because she's closer to the camera. Oh well, it's maybe just my perception is off.
I didn't manipulate their sizes at all. And I didn't notice that the fact that she's black makes her stand out some. But there is a huge difference in size of the people there.
Could be fun to make her like 20% larger.
Yeah, but then you'd have to adjust the angle of the smartphone camera,
You just move her
Yeah.
hand.
move it down. I think that fog was a lucky break, Oleg. I love the ambient light. The lack of dark shadows really works with this chromatic gate. And I don't think that the man turning his head necessarily detracts from the photo. It looks like he's engaged in a conversation with the woman in the middle, to me at least.
Yeah, but I missed what did I call it? The moment.
It looks like a nice moment to me. I mean, they know that they're having their photo taken, but they seem very comfortable and seem to be naturally interacting with each other. So certainly better than how stiff people get, most people when they're having the picture taken.
Oleg, I think you were referring to the decisive moment.
Yes, exactly. Somewhere along the line, it was there. She must have gotten the picture, or maybe, well, if she's preparing to take the picture, I would have gotten it. So I don't know. Her picture is better than mine.
Well, they're two different kinds of photos. Yours is more of a fine art photo, while hers is a snapshot. I think you put a lot more thought into yours. And
And
Oleg,
maybe
oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking maybe the moment itself is rather indecisive.
Yeah, I guess fair. Well, thank you, Oleg. Let's look at your third submission for this evening. And the title is Red and Yellow at a Lemonade Stand.
Yeah, I usually look for red because it's in nature, you don't find it very much. So in this case, there are 3 booths there that have red uh, tops. Oh no, one's white. But what happened was everything then in those booths was red too, red lights. So I had to kill the red in all of the booths.
Do you mean the light that was coming through
Yeah,
the canopy
that was
tops?
eliminating beneath the roofs there. It was all red.
How do you do that?
Um, well, you got red, whatever the 3 colors are. You take away much of the red.
I mean, like in Photoshop. So this
Just
is in the,
isolating the subjects within, and then yeah, probably just desaturate one channel or another.
so this is in, what is it, color balance?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, it- I just discovered in going through the same kind of process here, the a whole nother tool that I'd never used, which is selective color.
Hmm.
Do you ever use that?
Very useful. Although you can lead yourself down a path with it and get completely away from what your picture was originally.
Oh, I'm sure. But if you have like an idea in mind, like, oh, there's too much red in the picture or something like that, um, it gives you pretty fine control over that.
Yeah.
Whereas color balance is a little more heavy-handed. I was just really surprised. I'd never seen it before. It seems to be pretty powerful.
Yeah, very useful. I like that there's still some red. I like the sort of pinkish cast on top of the bags of popcorn.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have thought that anything was done to it.
Oleg, I would have been tempted to keep that red light. Did you find it distracting or something?
Um, when you're there, actually, the eyes adjust quickly. If you're looking at something red, it'll correct for it. You won't notice it. I think the way I have it is the way it looked to the eye.
I see.
The eye switches rapidly. When you're looking at outside, use a different, and you look inside, it won't look red. It looks right to the camera.
Yeah. Well, it's great. The one person who is sort of interacting with these vendors is also wearing red. Ties it together.
He looks indecisive too.
They're going to be there again. It's every month on a Sunday. So this Sunday, I'll go up there again and see if I can get a different look at these booths.
Well, you could do that, Oleg, or you could come to Solano Avenue. It'll be a mob scene, but there'll be plenty of
Oh.
other booths.
Is that on Sunday?
It is
This
yes,
Sunday, the 14th,
Solano
yes.
Stroll.
Oh. Yeah, I
keep it in
didn't
mind.
realize that. Yeah, I think I'll go to the East Bay then.
I know you photographed Solano Avenue before. Found some really interesting shots. I know Solano so well, and it never occurred to me to capture the compositions that you showed us. I think that was a year ago already.
Yeah, I get my car fixed out there.
Right. All right, thanks, Oleg. Number 3 by Oleg is...
Well, this is number 3.
Is this number 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes, thank you, Tor. Number 4 by Oleg is red, white, and blue at the French market.
Yeah, what attracted me there was it's very small, but in the center left, there's a mannequin, and it attracted me because it was looking right at me.
Mm.
So I looked I went all around to get a composition, but the whole scene was so cluttered, I couldn't find a good place to get a larger view of the mannequin there. So I decided just to make it a wide angle picture. The mannequin is still part of the composition. I imagined my eye going first with that table on the left, and then the next step would be looking at the mannequin. Mannequin is exactly on the window. Everything in front of the mannequin is ahead of the window.
Well, it's definitely the star of the show. And did you place it purposely against the black background?
I created the black background.
Oh, okay. That really helps a lot.
Yeah, I do that all the time. If there's something distracting around a person's face, I get rid of it.
Very nice. I can't tell at all.
I wonder how it looks on the TV. It's clear where the window is, and
Yes, very, because well, you have the cue of the captions, which are also at the window, and they're
yeah.
right next to the triangle that's sticking out, so it's very well signified.
Yeah,
So I've used this technique before. Whenever I wanted to bring the middle forward, if it's too far back.
You know, it could be fun would be to draw a flat shadow at the window of the extended section
Oh,
on the gray.
yeah, that's easy enough to do.
See if you could get it to match the angle of the light in the picture.
Yeah, no problem.
oh, like the effect, the alignment effect, the window effect works really well on my Lume pad, and it works well as an anaglyph also.
Yeah, I used it a dozen times. It's a handy thing to have to be able to do.
Oleg, this is kind of a technical question, but do you know what font you're using for these embedded titles?
Um, maybe 16, 20, something like that.
Do you know what the font name is? Is it like Arial or?
It feels like Cambria to me, but I'm not a super expert.
I can't remember.
I only bring it up because it's a little plain. I think if you wanted to explore with some different font faces, you could add a little bit more personality to those titles. And I don't know what your handwriting looks like, but that would be an interesting option also.
Yeah, though I like the fact I'm using that lettering to define where the window is, and you start monkeying around with it, you lose that effect. I think
Sure.
maybe it'll increase it. I don't know.
Well, you definitely have
try.
a strategy for it.
It's easy to change.
Just a thought. I think the photography speaks for itself. Well, thank you, Oleg. Next, we have a group of 4 photos by Melinda. And we'll start with blown call box.
Yeah, so well, first up, can anybody guess why I called it that?
I'm waiting for it to show up in the feed. Balloon. I mean,
What
you've
an
got
interesting effect.
obviously a retinal rivalry going on, and also on the guy in the background, and I think also the signal lights on the car. Is that correct?
Yes, you found all the spots that are affected, but the question is the word blown. I'll give you a hint. I'm mispronouncing it. I'm actually. I'll give you a bigger hint. I'm mispronouncing a word that doesn't even exist.
It's
All
a
I can
veg-
think of is Arrested Development, and I blew myself.
No, the word is the combination of the 2 colors here. So it's
Ah,
made a combination of blue and brown,
ah,
and I do that in another image that I've got here. So today's subject is color, and the description of the two kind of ways of doing that is altered reality or accentuating like existing colors. So I've got 2 of each. So this is where I've completely altered the colors, and and on Reddit in the Crossview subreddit, when they even have a category for this kind of technique that they call artificial color or something like that, or impossible color. Maybe that's what it is. Colors that don't exist in reality, but you can sort of create a new effect in the brain as if it's a new color. So
reminds me of something we wanted to try. I mentioned this at were you at Internet Archive?
Mhm.
Yeah, mentioned it then too. Was because I just started reading the Discworld series, where there's a magical color that
Ah,
is indescribable, but it is nevertheless described as something between green and purple.
interesting.
And that'd be a fun thing to attempt with Retinal Rivalry.
Yeah, totally. I even did a different version with purple and something else here. Um, from science fiction, I do remember another impossible color, which was called um, blind spot.
Huh.
Do you know about that? I think it's Larry
No.
Niven. The idea is that like you like each of your eyes produces a blind spot that your brain sort of fills in with this color that they call a blind spot.
Okay.
Um, so you can't actually see it. And then in the stories, there's this sort of real effect. Like if you look out the window while you're traveling through hyperspace or something, they call it blind spot, and it sort of makes you go crazy because it sort of fills your entire field with blind spot. So it's like it's not exactly that there's nothing there. But anyway, it's a different kind of impossible color. So what I did with this one is I wanted to alter the color pretty significantly, and so I picked a nice call box that had a very bright red color that was freshly painted and everything. And so I selected all the reds, and then I shifted them using the hue saturation color. So the hue slider lets you move the color around the color wheel. So for one of the images, I shifted the color to be blue, and the other one in the opposite direction, picked a nice brown color. And my And my choice of color was I wanted to pick two colors that were, when fused, sort of equally dominant. So at least for my perception, as I fuse this image, it's kind of like right on the edge of being blue or brown. It certainly doesn't want to be a mixture of both. So my eyes are kind of fighting for who's right, and I wanted to make it so that each image was, at least in 2D, was perfectly believable. It's a perfectly good-looking blue box or a brown box, and then picking an exact color pair that would sort of be right on that border was the real challenge. And in the process, I found something really interesting. Matt, if you can, you're displaying this in Stereo Photomaker, right?
Yeah.
So if everybody could just like look at the call box, look at like I don't know, the R in fire or something like that, or just just stare at the middle of the call box, and then Matt can give us a countdown, and then switch it to pseudo stereo. Actually,
Okay.
before switching it, like look at this call box in the middle, decide what color you really think it is. Is it really blue? Is it really brown? Or do you see something else altogether? And just decide in your mind what color you would call it. And then Matt can give us a countdown, and then switch it to pseudo. And then for the first few seconds, I claim that you're going to have a real interesting experience.
Okay.
And I see where you're going with it.
Yeah, let's do this. If you're following along on YouTube or Switch, there'll be a bit of a delay, but if you're watching on the Zoom screen share, it'll be right at my countdown. I'll count down from 3.
And then if it's delayed for you, you can just keep watching until it switches.
What I expect is that we'll see something of a gray until our eyes readjust.
Well, here we go. 3, 2, 1, switch.
Hey, I can see it in red.
Yeah,
I-
that's
I'm-
really something.
I'm legally blind in my left eye. So whatever's in the right eye is what the color is gonna be. So you wasted your time, Melinda, for my purposes.
Did you actually experience some red or what?
Whatever, the left eye is blind. So whatever's in the right eye is the color I see.
Oh, okay. So it went from brown to blue for you?
Yeah,
Oh,
From
okay.
blue to red.
Well, there's no red. Neither of them is red.
I'm reading the firebox as red. I think just because it's a firebox, but it's less red than the man in the shirt.
Yeah, I mean the real color is bright red. But anyway, did you get the gray that you expected, or were you...
No, I got a big shot of blue, which is interesting because that's my left eye, and I'm generally right eye dominant.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I get the same kind of thing. It's like it's like before I switch, my brain has sort of come to a consensus between these warring parties, and then when I switch them, then the fight starts all over, and I definitely get either an immediate sense that aha, it's blue, or aha, it's brown.
Well, I'd like to share what I see, and I think this relates to what you were saying, Oleg. So before we saw it pseudo, when I view this through my beam splitter, I saw retinal rivalry that was dominant red or brown. The reddish color was dominant, but it was an active rivalry. On my Lume pad, before it was pseudo, the rivalry was less evident. It was more of a purple colored firebox with kind of a bit of a radiance. And about the same on the anaglyph stream. When we went pseudo, with the beam splitter for me, still retinal rivalry, but primarily blue. So I wonder if that has something to do with my dominant eye. Does that mean that my left eye is my dominant eye, I wonder? And
An easy way to find your dominant eye is to hold your finger over something in the distance and then close one eye and see whether the parallax throws it off or not.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess my left eye must be my dominant eye. So it's a fascinating experiment.
Yeah.
It's kind of a total surprise for me. You can switch it back once or twice if you like to, because it all kind of happens in that first second.
I will. Let me
In
switch back
the
and
in the
forth.
Yellow Submarine, I think it's the in the song "It's All Too Much." They have a moment where there's a rotating cube, and it's actually they even say in the lyrics of the song it's brown, and that sort of clues you that you're looking at a brown thing. And but it's strobing. When I first saw it in the theater, I thought it was strobing red and green, and when I got the laser disc of it, I freeze framed it, and it's like what you're doing. It was brown was one of the strobe colors. It was going green to brown. It was a slightly different shade of brown than what you perceive. But they were just alternating at every frame. So instead of alternate eyes, there is a temporal change.
I got to go
And
back and look at that. Thanks.
yeah, Disney did it too. Disney did it in the Pink Elephants on Parade. They strobe colors in the background. It's pretty crazy. I don't think anybody had done it prior to that. That was all the way back in 1941. But yeah, it's more almost like what you're almost exactly what you're doing here. It's very similar choice, except that this kind of brown and it was a green, as I recall.
I will go and find that.
And speaking of new colors, there is a new color, Olo, uh,
Yes.
which
Super green.
yeah, it's like a super green, super teal, blue green, and I guess it can be seen by stimulating the eye's green cones with a laser. Not something you want to do yourself, but something something scientists have done. Wow, what
They
an
stimulate
amazing
just
experiment!
the green receptors, not the red or the blue,
Right.
which never happens in reality. And people report that it's definitely green. It's a very intense green.
All right. Thanks,
I,
Melinda. Oh, go
I,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I really want to try that experiment.
Yeah, don't do it at home, but I would like to witness that too. All right, let's move on to Blue Hour Reds by Melinda.
Yeah, this is kind of my attempt at an Oleg homage, because it was the reds in the scene that caught my eye, which I've been used to hearing Oleg being attracted by various red objects, and so in this case, it was the car and the roofs and some of the sunset clouds. And this was right after the golden hour, which I was a little sad to have missed, but it was kind of interesting nonetheless in the kind of well into the blue hour. And so I made this cha-cha. And then I had it for a while. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but as the special was coming up, I thought that would be a good time to do something with it. And I decided to really kind of accentuate the reds in the scene. I mean, not in a completely unbelievable way like the previous image, but or oversaturate them. But and I think I did use the that Photoshop selective color tool here to manipulate specifically the reds. I can't exactly say what I was going after, but I definitely wanted them to stand out.
Very effective.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know, if you look, how does it, I can't do it myself, but how does it look in black and white?
Here.
Can we do that?
Does the stereo photo maker have a black and white tool?
I feel like we've done this before. Where is
I'm
it?
just turning down the saturation on my TV.
Let me try something here.
It's got to have. Oh, there's grayscale. So yeah, it's adjust color adjustment grayscale. Gotta go four levels deep.
I feel like the car reads darker in monochrome. I'd be interested to, if from your originals, if you could find the green in the trees with selective color, wake them up.
Bring them up as well.
Yeah.
And then I guess I'd have
the silhouettes in the back, they work too.
Yeah, in grayscale, the car certainly got very dark.
Anyway, I consider color the fourth dimension, and this really illustrates how important it is in some photographs.
Yeah, I mean, in black and white, it looks like nothing to me, but and some of these recent model red cars have some amazing paint. I don't know what's changed, but they've gotten much richer and deeper too.
Maybe a metallic tone. I remember when metal flake was the deal.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know paints really at all, but some of them are catching my eye lately.
Well, I can't figure out how to get this back to color. Maybe I can just do Control Z. There we go. That worked.
The next time there's like a lowrider convention or something, we should get out there, because that's where you can find the really amazing paint jobs. Especially in the bright sun.
Hey Matt, why is there a big, oh, never mind.
Yeah, sorry, I just had to do some adjustments getting it back to color, but I think everything should be returned
That's good.
to
Yeah, the border just went wonky for a while.
Yeah,
Okay.
went a little funny there.
Okay, back to normal on the YouTube feed here.
All right. All right,
I
Melinda.
can't
Oh,
remember words, but there's a word in physics when you have two objects that are intertwined. Um,
Entanglement?
entanglement. Uh, the red in this picture entangles with the other reds in the pictures.
hmm.
You mean the different objects that are red or what?
No, they're of one. They're sort of one thing. You can imagine
All of the
that.
reds?
That
Yeah,
you could, because the red values are close enough to each other, they read as a single composition. Just if you can just look at the red in the picture if you want to. I think that's what Oleg's going to.
I
yeah.
got it. That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I was originally saying.
That's why this works in color, not so much in black and white.
Yeah, I think it loses something special in black and white. It really needs the reds to make it more than a composition of architecture. And I love how you framed that palm tree between the two buildings also.
Yeah, there wasn't like a really great or perfect composition, so this was kind of the best I could do.
The building on the left reminds you of an old Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, or a Pizza Hut.
Well, specifically KFC had that tower in their standard buildings for a long time.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Isn't that Pizza Hut like that also?
I don't know. I remember Pizza Hut had the red roof. I don't remember it having like the little tower, the peak.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, Melinda. Let's take a look at Melinda's Rello tree.
So by now everybody is expert in impossible colors.
On your wavelength, so to speak.
On my what?
Your wavelength.
On my wavelength, exactly. So the particular wavelengths here are yellow and red, and in this case they were each taken when illuminated with either the yellow traffic lights or the red traffic lights, and then I moved the camera between them. So I had to time when the correct lights were on to get a stereogram in two different colors.
This
And I
one's-
tried with different combinations of red, blue, and green, or excuse me, red, green, and yellow. And I liked the yellow red the best. Go ahead, Tar.
This one's trickier for me because the red in the left eye is darker than the yellow, and
It's more than that. It's the fact that the lights are set at different heights.
huh.
So they're different pictures, and by enough that it really matters.
It just takes me a while to solidify the leaves.
But the
Yeah.
person does not move. So,
Well, I cloned them over.
okay.
So they were in one picture and not the other.
So this is sunlight at different times.
No, this is
Or-
night. I mean, this is
Oh, okay.
this is almost as dark as it gets. I mean, there's a little light left in the sky, but you wouldn't notice it in person.
Okay.
Um,
So this is light cast from the traffic lights? Is that what you were talking about?
this is almost entirely from the traffic lights.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So the traffic lights are pretty close to the tree, just out of the frame on the right.
Got it.
What's illuminating the woman and the person in the scene?
The traffic lights.
So, how come she's not blurred?
Blurred? Oh,
She's
you mean
standing still?
different colors? I mean, she kind of
No, I
is, right?
mean, normally if something's lit by not a bright light, and I assume she's not really that close to the traffic light, then it wouldn't be that bright, would it?
You're talking about exposure?
I'm
Exposure
talking
time?
about, yeah, exposure.
It could,
Normally, ma-
maybe there's a street light back there.
yeah, if it's a
It could,
street light, I mean,
it,
normally a street light, she would cast a shadow. Maybe there's a little bit of a shadow.
it does look like there's a shadow going to the left, but
Yeah.
yeah, she might be lit by a street lamp. Oh, there is a street lamp you can see between the branches of the yellow tree. It's not in the right tree.
So, so you haven't manipulated the color in this?
No, I don't think I did anything specifically to the colors that I don't do to pretty much every image.
The one on the left looks so red. I thought you had done done your mailbox. I mean your firebox routine on this.
No,
And
no, that's just what the red stoplight did.
so how long is your exposure?
I don't know. Maybe 60th of a second or something.
Oh, okay.
It's a very
Did
light
you
sensitive
add the
camera.
moon?
Did I do it the moon?
Did you add the moon? It's well
No, no,
placed.
no. The moon is exactly how it was. Everything is how it was. I just cloned the person from one side to the other, and then did my normal filters and stuff. But I didn't alter one side or the other in any way. The tree is very red. It's a madrone, so it's naturally extremely red. I like the bark of that tree. So the tree itself is a little bit unusual, but the leaves are just a normal green.
Yeah, wow. Thanks, Melinda.
Mhm.
What camera did you use? This isn't a cha-cha, is it? This would be a regular
No,
stereo photo.
it's a
It is a
cha-cha. I
cha-cha.
used the DSLR on
Oh,
a tripod
okay. That's how
and
you
just
got it so well aligned. Did you use a slide bar or something?
no, I just moved the tripod.
Just
So
move the
I like
tripod.
made sure I got my yellow exposure, and then I could take my time, moving it over a few inches to get the red.
That explains how you were able to capture so much detail at night. Being on a tripod and your DSLR, that's a much more light sensitive camera, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely needed the tripod. Used pretty slow shutter and probably used the night settings.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, wow, that's fascinating. Thank you, Melinda.
Mhm.
Did you try? Is it worth trying this in pseudo? It's such a. I mean, I'm not sure how the stereo would look in pseudo, but did you notice any color shifts or anything in pseudo?
No, it's not.
Doesn't work as
It's
well.
it's kind of a mess. It's not worth trying.
Fair enough.
It'd be interesting to see the rivalry between the red light and the green light off of the traffic light. It's
Yeah,
closer to grayscale.
I tried green with either red or yellow. I don't remember. Um, the, the yellow and the red were what worked best. But um, it's a problem because because of the different heights of the different
Mm.
lamps. So I think that kind of ruins the effect. But you know, it's kind of it's kind of there, and it was an interesting challenge to use the existing light.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. I never thought of doing that.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Melinda. We have one more by you. It's coming up next. The title is Virginia Creeper.
So yeah, this was um, back to normal reality. Not really manipulating anything, but I I did take some pains to accentuate the colors a little bit. I think I barely touched saturation at all. Maybe I used the selective color control on this one. I really should probably take notes. But mostly I wanted to just get a nice balance between the uh, the red, green, and yellowish leaves, and have a nice blue sky. Just wanted lots of nice happy colors.
Very clean.
Thank you.
Would you consider cropping out a bit on the right, basically cropping out that roof or that structure, just leaving the leaves in the sky?
Yeah, I tried it. I tried a couple of different crops. Because like in the very center, there's some sky that's sort of peeking through uh, a relatively thin section of the plant.
You lose the depth cue for infinity if you don't have something like that roof there.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe that's what it was missing. Yeah, I originally thought I was gonna zoom in a bit on that sky, but I just didn't like it as much.
The
There's
alternative
a,
would be to put a cloud in there, but I don't think this shot wants a cloud.
the way it is, there's a balance between the three green uh, leaves, left, center, and right. If you crop the right side off, you lose that balance.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was losing. Yeah. Yeah, in the end, I think I just used the full frame. Or maybe I just got it centered on that patch of sky. But I kind of liked having the roof there.
All right. Well, thank you, Melinda.
Mhm.
And now we have a group by Steve. Steve, you're on. The title of the first photo by Steve is Color T-shirts.
So this is my trip to LA. We just went to a secondhand store and they had the t-shirts all lined up by color. And I didn't even remember that that was the theme. I just thought it'd make an interesting picture. So, I mean, Oleg and Melinda are hard acts to follow. I'm pretty much just, taking snapshots. I'm just, taking this is a cha-cha. I just had my phone with me.
Well, I mean, you found a nice subject for color for sure. I just kind of wish that I could see all the way to the back in both eyes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I crop this. Um, as I always do, I take, several different angles. But I'm pretty sure there was a lot of confusing information in the background. So I sort of cropped it in the way that looked the best to me.
Well, you
Yeah,
got all the bright colors for sure. Um,
yeah. I may have also been, attempting to uh, make sure that nothing went past the line, past the baseline. So, I may have pushed stuff back. I was thinking the original photo, some of the t-shirts in the foreground extended beyond the window.
yeah, I think the blue in the foreground comes through a little bit, but
Little bit.
it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
I think I'd be tempted to recolor that foreground shirt and make it red as well.
Yeah, well now, seeing what you guys have been doing, I'm gonna be emboldened to, try more things. I usually don't change my pictures too much.
What you could have
Try
done,
that
Steve.
selective colors thing. That's really amazing to me.
Yeah, I know that Affinity does have that. I've never used it, so I'll have to try it out.
Or you could go back, Steve, and just reorder those T-shirts. Move that blue one to the
I'll
back
go
there.
back to the shop.
Probably easier just to change the color using that selective
Yeah,
color
well,
tool.
it's always an interesting point. You can get away with that kind of thing when you're shooting a picture if you're really thinking about it. Sometimes I'll look at the picture and go, why didn't I just move that thing just out of the way? I could have moved it 2 inches and it would have been solved all my problems. You just don't think about stuff like that. At least I don't.
Steve, I see your Walt Disney background.
Is it backwards or is it correct?
It's correct.
It
It's
reads
correct.
correct.
Oh, because for me it's backwards. But I think that's just because, we're used to seeing our own faces as mirror images, so Zoom tries to accommodate us. Yeah, well, that's the classic 3D cartoon melody, which it's too bad there's no way that I know to see it. There are 3D prints out there.
I've seen them.
Oh yeah, I've seen them, and I know people that have 3D prints of it, but I'm not allowed to say any more than that.
Yeah.
If I was post-processing this picture, I would have changed the tint of the blue one to match the blue at the upper left. So those will be intertwined.
I'm not sure I know what you're saying.
The blue on the upper left is brighter than the blue at the lower right. I would have made both tints the same.
So the colors kind of wrap all the way around from the
Well,
back to the
they'll
front.
be balanced diagonally between upper left and lower right.
I see.
Again, it's because of the color that you get that kind of balance.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, I would really tend to want to document it because this is the way the shirts actually were. They lined them up by color. I don't know that I've seen that, but if I were to change some, then I could say, Well, I could just get a bunch of white T-shirts and color them any way I want. Now that's seems like it takes all the adventure out of it.
I'd probably spend half an hour just arranging all those shirts.
Yeah.
You'd
Well,
actually physically move them
I'd
around.
go and fix them. Yeah, I would make it correct to my eye, and then get thrown out, of course.
well, Steve, you mentioned that kind of blindness that we experience when we're making a photo and then see later when we're editing the photo something in the frame that we should have moved or we should have repositioned ourselves. I experience that also. I get fixated on maybe the overall composition or maybe the subject or something, and other things that are in the frame are invisible to me because I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, well, there's a classic thing that I first saw at the Exploratorium, which is the gorilla and the basketball players.
Sure. Right.
Did I mention that earlier? It seemed like I mentioned
I'm
that to somebody.
familiar with it, but you could
I think we
describe
talked
it.
about it long ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a famous video, and you can find it online, of these guys playing basketball, and they tell you to count the number of times they pass the basketball. And then you watch it, and it looks normal. And then they say, so did you count the balls? And then they say, did you see the gorilla? And you go, gorilla? Are you crazy? Of course there's no gorilla. I would have seen a gorilla. And then they show the video again, and there's a gorilla comes in, beats his chest, and then walks off. And then you say, well, you say to yourself, well, that's a different video. I would have seen that. And then you realize, no, it's the exact same video. It's one video. And you get fixated on one thing and you do not see lots of other stuff. It's an amazing phenomenon. But yeah, Matt, you're absolutely right. You sort of say, oh, this is what I want. And you miss so many other things. There's a whole world going on you're not aware of.
Well, that's the advantage of using a tripod. You got more time to look around before you take the picture.
Well,
I guess I think it's more, in this case, I was with other people and they had their agenda and they didn't want to wait around while I was, finding the perfect angles. So, move on.
well, Oleg, I think you demonstrated what you just said in your red, white, and blue at the French market with that mannequin, where you clearly were able to see the entire scene and arrange a composition without any distracting elements. And you didn't even move that mannequin head, did you? You just moved yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
I had to be there for about 10 minutes or so before I came upon the composition that I did. I looked at that mannequin so many different ways that it never looked right.
I have a collapsible tripod I carry with me, but in this instance, we were just going out to eat and we were taking a walk afterwards and we walked into this shop, so I didn't have the tripod with me. I mean, that's a nice thing about the phones is you just keep them in your pocket, so you always have a means of recording something.
Another way that I often do it will be just to go back and reshoot an image if I can, like the fire escape image I showed last time. I tried 3 or 4 different
Yeah. Well,
times
I do
before I
that
figured out what I needed.
when I'm in my neighborhood, but this is in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
well,
Just different
Burbank.
ways
It's
of
in
figuring
Burbank.
out what the image wants to be. Yeah.
if anyone's interested, I posted a link to a select attention test video. It's the basketballs and gorillas video that Steve was describing. It's not in 3D, but still relevant and quite fascinating. Next up from Steve is East Bay Sunset.
So, nothing fancy here, just a picture I thought looked nice. I'm a fan of sunsets. Um, this is sort of my neighborhood.
Yeah, those
That's lovely.
branches make all the difference in stereo.
Yeah, the silhouetted trees frame it pretty well.
I think it might benefit from an actual frame. All the black around the outside, it the
Yeah,
black tends to bleed into the
yeah, that's a
background.
possibility.
Got an elevation issue with this one.
I'll say that again.
I've got an elevation issue with this one. The right eye is about 10% higher than the left.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't see that.
it's
It's obvious and it's side by side.
Yeah, if you look at the lights at the bottom of the frame, the horizon.
Let me try an auto align.
yeah, it definitely changes things. And you got a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
the branches are kind of through the window.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
But if you had a border, then it would be clear when you've got the window in front of everything.
Yeah, looks like there's a 5 pixel vertical misalignment. And I'm going through and just running auto align on these.
Yeah, I'll have to watch out for that.
Oh, that's much better. Yes. Thank you.
Is this a W3 shot, Steve? Or a cha-cha?
Oof. I think it's a W3. I do have trouble with these kinds of images with cha-chas just because lately there's been wind all that anytime I try to take pictures of trees, leaves, they just don't stand still. I mean, this is a pretty barren. Of course, the one on the far right is lots of these. Yeah, it's probably W3.
Yeah, I don't see any retinal rivalry.
I mean, there's wind motion, then there's wind motion. I found that you can have a surprising amount of wind motion in trees, and it just comes out fine. I mean, the branches end up sticking out at different angles than it was in reality, but there's sort of no way to know which way a branch is supposed to be going. So I guess I'm just saying if you're in doubt, just take the image anyway. It sometimes just works.
Yeah, you can try that.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
Let's take a look at Roy Rogers Hollywood Museum. A lot of color here. This will be popping up any moment.
This is another cha-cha. And this is I'm back at the Hollywood Museum, which I had some pictures from last week. And yeah, just a lot a lot of stuff. Pretty it's kind of struck by how it's almost all primary colors. It's just, red, yellow, and blue. Not so much orange or purple, green. It's really just the primary colors. I'm not sure what that says about Roy Rogers, but anyway, that's what this is the display as it exists in at the Hollywood Museum. But the only manipulation I did is I removed some window reflections because the lights in the place tended to and you see it in one eye and not the other. So
Steve, I
just
did
do
an
a
auto align on these.
Yes,
There was
thank you for that.
there was a vertical misalignment of 19 pixels.
Yeah, the heads were way off.
whoa.
It was
I
closer at the bottom, but at the top they were way off.
Oh yeah, I know it was possible I spaced out and just didn't do it, but normally I just do that as like a first pass on any picture. Um, but maybe I didn't.
How did you eliminate the reflections? Is this behind glass?
Yeah, it's behind glass. I use the in painting tool. I think it has a different name in Photoshop, but he basically looks at the image, figures out what should be there based on what's around it. Does a decent job. Sometimes you have to help it. You can clone or um, most of the reflections were in small, like a little speck of light or a little circle of light about the size of the back of the hand, one of those little dummy hands. So
Looks very good.
oh, thank you. The other thing is that if you got a reflection in one, it's not going to be in the other. So you use the information from the eye that has a reflection in a different place, and you kind of play one against the other, or one helping the other, just like we did with the Russell pictures.
Mm-hmm. Photoshop has a new AI-based reflection removal tool, an automatic tool in their camera raw filter, which I just tried for the first time last night. It works okay. Doesn't work so great with stereo pairs. This looks, yeah, like Lee was saying, this looks great. It didn't even occur to me that this was behind glass.
Yeah, I think in this case, I was pretty careful when I took the original picture to try to minimize. Um, but yeah, I think there are no cases where you can avoid yeah, I mean, they have to put this stuff behind glass. There's a lot of rare stuff.
If you have a polarizing filter, a rotating polarizing filter, you may be able to cut down reflection in the moment, but it's
Yeah,
cumbersome.
that is a really good idea. I mean, I used to always have polarized sunglasses with me. I don't carry usually the polarized 3D glasses with
Mm.
me. But now I have transition lenses, so I don't usually have a polarizing filter. But yeah, that could help.
I don't know if it would work with circular polarized material. It might have to be linear. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
don't know. No, I have used it a little bit on my animation stand back in the day.
Mm.
That's 30, 40 years ago. So it's been a long time since I worked like that.
Just to take the shine off the cells, that kind of thing.
Yeah, in case, there was something or I was shooting something that had some depth to it
Mm.
and was picking up, sometimes I shoot some stop motion and you get little unwanted areas. Yeah,
I had
especially cells. Sometimes with the paint causes the cell to warp a little bit.
Mm.
I had some successful experiments with polarizing filters on my twin Sonys last year. linear polarizers, but you do have to be very careful that they're lined up exactly so that the polarization is the same on both cameras. And at least with my cheap filters, there's no mark to tell you which way is up. You have to just carefully experiment with both. So it's possible in stereo, but a little tricky.
You just get one giant disc in front of both
Yes,
lenses.
that would, yeah, that would probably work. That'd be a great invention. I have a sheet of linear polarizing material. I could experiment with that. Steve, are these mannequins in this photo, are they life-size mannequins or are they like child-size mannequins? I can't really tell.
Well, I mean, I think they're children, but I mean, they're not like little toys. They're probably about 4 feet tall.
Okay. I wasn't sure how exaggerated the base was, how miniaturized this scene is made to look based on that separation, but
Yeah, I mean,
makes sense.
I'm just guessing I mean, I use it's a cha-cha, so the separation between the lenses is whatever I thought looked good, but you can get some kind of a sense of their scale because there's some comic books in the foreground,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a small amount of distance between the comic books and them, but you can get some sense of how
But,
big they are.
but these would be like the costume that you'd order from Sears for Halloween.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. So this would be a costume for children. So these are child-sized.
gotcha.
Got it. That the colors, the yellows and the red particularly, must have been like the branding for Roy Rogers because it's so consistent in this photo, especially that yellow. I see it all on the comic books and the books and the signs. It looks like there's some board games.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Westerns, but my only recollection of Roy Rogers is in black and white.
Me
Although
too,
I think we
right?
didn't get color TV till I was, a teenager, and Roy Rogers had not been on the air for a while by that time.
But was Roy Rogers shot in color? I don't think so.
Don't have,
I
don't
would
have, yeah, I don't
imagine,
think so either. That's pretty long ago.
yeah. This was probably
Yeah,
the color branding for Roy Roger products, these costumes and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, I only know of the Superman syndicated show being shot in color. I think
Some of the Roy Rogers movies were in color,
Okay.
a weird kind of color that was not very good.
true color. It was a blue-orange two-strip process, if I'm remembering correctly.
uh, well, Roy Rogers is in The Paleface with Bob Hope, and the color's great in that one. Um, or maybe it's Son of Paleface. One
It's
of
Son of
Son of
Pale.
Paleface, yeah, but they're both Technicolor, but yeah,
yeah,
Roy's in the second one.
looks great.
Paleface was on Turner Classic Movies just the other night.
Yeah, they're both good. That's Bob Hope in his prime.
Well, thank you, Steve. Let's look at Steve's fourth entry for tonight's slideshow. And the title is Why a Duck?
Speaking of great comedians on
Yes.
TV, I think probably some of you know who this is. This is the duck. Of course, why a duck is from a routine that Groucho did with Chico, talking about a viaduct. But because of that, Groucho used a duck doll in his TV show, You Bet Your Life. Now, this is an actual duck used on TV for Groucho, but not for that TV series. This was for a TV special from the 60s. His series, he was on radio, and then he had a series in the 50s. But it seemed appropriate that it's in color, because the show was always shown in black and white. And there's black and white photos, not of his show, but of other things relating to the Marx Brothers. This is a Marx Brothers exhibit at the Hollywood Museum. And I did, actually, in this case, I did similar to what Melinda did, except it's not retinal rivalry. I changed the color of the background. The blue was not blue, it was a kind of an orangish color. So it really, it didn't stand out at all. It was a yellowish orange, so it was like halfway between the beak and the body. So everything was kind of this, slightly orangish yellow color, and it just didn't like it, so I made it blue.
Good choice, because yeah, it's good 3D and good to have the duck standing out like that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I thought it actually looked like it had more depth. It doesn't really, but it was my perception that the blue made it stand out more than the orangish.
Well, the blue definitely goes to the background and the, what's it called? Color key?
Oh, chroma depth.
Chroma key? Chroma depth.
Chroma depth.
Thanks. Yeah. So that's
What are you talking about?
chroma depth. So the eye naturally sees some colors as closer or farther
Oh,
away.
right. Yeah, reds tend to advance and the cooler colors tend to recede.
Yeah. So that's the choice here helps the 3D effect.
Yeah,
Now,
that probably is. It's a psychological thing.
yeah. Now, did you say that this was or was not actually used in their competitions?
According to the little label there, this was used for a Groucho TV special, and not for his quiz series.
Okay.
But as long as it was used with Groucho, I figure it's the real thing.
I mean, it looks like my recollection, but I hadn't seen that in such a long time.
The weirdest thing is I kept thinking it was a Mandela effect. I kept thinking that he had a cigar. And I Googled, and every illustration of the duck has a cigar, and every photo has no cigar.
I bet you the TV show was sponsored by a cigarette company. That's the sort of stuff they would do.
Right, because Groucho, if there's anything, I mean, maybe the eyebrows, but the cigar was always there.
Yeah. No, in stories about why Rod Serling left Playhouse 90 to make Twilight Zone, it was stories like that where he'd have to change a line of dialogue from "got a match" to "got a light" because the sponsor was Ronson Lighters. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I've heard much worse stories than.
Oh yeah, no, that's a simple one. Painting out the Chrysler Building because the sponsor's Ford. That's a good one.
Exactly.
Oh, good thing we don't try revising history anymore.
No, it's all behind us.
That's right.
It was double plus ungood.
Well, I love the typography on that sign. Oleg, it wouldn't be appropriate for the titles of your photos, but very distinctive.
You're talking about the word laugh?
Laugh.
Just
yes.
the lettering is very nice.
Well, that would be a good opportunity for Comic Sans.
Too sloppy. No, I prefer this this nice condensed.
This is probably
typeface.
close to what was used in the TV series.
It's almost Helvetica, really.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
And that actually concludes our slideshow. And there we go. So that concludes our slideshow. However, we're not done yet. Just having a little problem here. Okay. Let's do our poll. If you're able to participate, we've got a website. We've got a QR code. Oh, my screen sharing is paused. Hang on. Okay. That should be working now. We have a limited number of slides, but I kept the poll at 3 selections per participant. I will go through the slideshow again. I will spend just a few moments on each slide, and I'll state the title and the maker to refresh our memory. And then we'll spend a minute or two making our selections. So we'll start with green and blue at entrance to the Lagoon Park by Oleg. Mother photographs family at the Chromatic Gate by Oleg. Red and yellow at a lemonade stand by Oleg. Red, white, and blue at the French Market by Oleg. Blown Call Box by Melinda. Blue Hour Reds by Melinda. Rello Tree by Melinda. Virginia Creeper by Melinda. Color T-shirts by Steve. East Bay Sunset by Steve. Roy Rogers Hollywood Museum by Steve. And Why a Duck by Steve. All right, let's make our selections. Give ourselves a minute or two. I'll show the results in a couple of minutes after everyone has had a chance to make their selection. While we're making our selections, I'll remind everyone that our next meeting is our first October meeting, Tuesday, October 7th. And the following week on Tuesday, October 14th, will be our special division, and we have a creative special in October. Does anyone need more time to make their selections? I'll give it another few seconds. Stop the share for now.
Shout out to Phyllis, who seems to have been having AV issues today, but certainly glad to have you here nonetheless.
Yeah, hey Phyllis. We appreciate you being here. All right. I think we've all made our selections. Let me share my screen. All right. Well, it looks like we'll give first to Steve for East Bay Sunset. And we've got a three-way tie for second between Oleg's Mother Photographs family at the Chromatic Gate, Oleg's Red, White, and Blue at the French Market, and Melinda's Blown Call Box. And then we have a variety. We'll call it a seven-way tie for third. Not particularly scientific, but I think that having so many votes with so few voters at least elevates one or two titles here. So well done, everybody. The last thing that I have on my agenda is just another reminder that Sunday is the Solano Stroll. And if you're in the neighborhood, if you're in town, if you're in the East Bay, the Solano Stroll is the East Bay's largest street festival. And I put a link to our little promo page on our website about it. I'll be there. Tor will be there. Steve will be there. And you're under no obligation to hang out at the pop-up 3D theater. But if you make it to the event, stop by, say hi. And that's all I have on the agenda for tonight. Does anyone have anything to share? I've got a couple 3D movies that I picked up from Turbine, the German company. The Puss in Boots: Last Wish.
Heard good things about that.
Yeah, it actually holds up in 3D or not. You know, on these German Turbine titles, there's an English version on the other side of the logo.
Yeah, that one has very bold design. That's quite very much worth seeing.
Yeah, I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh, I can lend that one to you.
I have it. I just haven't watched it.
And in my case, Fast and Furious 10 put me right to sleep. I can't tell you anything about it. I don't know if anyone has seen 1 through 9.
I think I've seen 6 and 7, and that might be all. Or no, I've seen 5 and 6.
I asked a colleague of mine who watches these Fast and Furious films, and he explained to me that his theory, I guess in the first one, the protagonist played by
Paul Walker.
No, the other one.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, yes. I guess he collides with a tree or something in his car. So the theory is that Fast and Furious 2 through 10 are like coma hallucinations by the protagonist after that accident.
Matt, it's all about family.
It is about family, and Fast and Furious 10, they somehow...
And blunt head trauma, yes.
They just seem to say that phrase in every movie.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, it's absolutely a science at this point.
I think I've seen maybe 5 of them, There's usually one fantastic action sequence, and then the rest of it's just boring.
Well, if you're going to do the dying brain trope, you have to at least make sure that nothing else happens on camera that wouldn't have been seen or imagined by the dying brain.
Yeah, but even movies that actively do that violated, like Somewhere in Time has scenes that take place completely outside of Christopher Reeve's perspective.
Was it a dying brain in that case?
Yeah,
don't-
yeah, at the end, yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Spoiler.
It was one of my favorite movies, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in at
I
least
guess
20
it
years.
can be
So.
it can be interpreted variously, but it does seem to be his journey, his travel, his self hypnosis, and then there's a whole scene where Christopher Plummer is plotting against him, and nobody else is there.
All right, I'm gonna go rewatch that real soon.
It's a good rewatch.
I love the movie so much, but I will be a little disappointed if that's really really what it was. I didn't have that sense at all.
Huh.
I was fooled.
Jane Seymour was lovely.
Indeed.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for turning out. I don't have a problem with wrapping up a few minutes early tonight, unless anyone has any discussion items. If we don't see you on Sunday, hope to see you in October on Zoom. And we'll have a full report of whatever the chaos was that will be the Solano Stroll. We've done this before. I think our experience with the Maker Faire in 2023 will prepare us for the onslaught of thousands of people dropping by for a few moments. All right. Well, with that,
All right.
good night, everyone. And I'll see you next month or sooner.
Okay.
Thanks all.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night.